Good morning, 6:03. Robert and Erin, 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Down yonder, Miss Erin, local news, getting ready right now.
Preparing for Tropical Storm Gordon. We'll talk more about that. A local restaurant destroyed in a fire. And what's the new deal with Ochsner to run University Health? Get more reaction on that today, too.
I think that's the first time you said it right.
Maybe?
Ochsner.
Ah, thank you.
It's like Ochsner.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, I can tell that Cedric was here on Friday. Mm-hmm. Was it Friday or Thursday?
Friday, yeah.
Okay, we'll talk about that. Mm-hmm. And evidently there's just lots of stuff I missed between the governor and the sheriff.
Man.
Oh, my God. See?
It was a big week.
I paid attention. And what's this tropical storm? This is the first I've heard.
And we're still getting crickets about black mold, too, by the way.
You talk about being off the grid.
Yeah.
This guy was so far off the grid. Mm-hmm. Holy cow, I've got a lot to catch up on. Plus, Fletcher and sports and traffic and weather, and it's all coming up this hour, and it's right here on Keel.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Tropical Storm Gordon continuing to strengthen and is expected to become a hurricane late today when it hits the central U.S. Gulf Coast. Governor John Bel Edwards has declared a state of emergency in advance of the storm. Edwards says 200 National Guard troops are being deployed today.
These guardsmen will be pre-positioned primarily in southeast Louisiana, along with 63 high-water vehicles, 39 boats, and 4 helicopters.
The governor says Gordon is a real threat to Louisiana, even though Alabama and Mississippi coastlines are under a hurricane warning. Now, Barry Keim, the state climatologist, says the cone of uncertainty still includes the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain.
Regardless of the exact landfall location, the storm is going to affect the extreme western part of the Florida Panhandle, as well as the coast of Alabama, Mississippi, and southeastern Louisiana.
The center of the storm expected to track over North Louisiana on tomorrow. A man is fighting for life after arriving at a local hospital with a gunshot wound to the side. Police believe the shooting happened around 8 o'clock last night on Woodrow Avenue. Police urge anyone with information on the shooting to call Crime Stoppers at 673-7373. A local restaurant ravaged by fire. Matt Parker with that.
The Long John Silver's on Kings Highway has been destroyed in a fire. The restaurant caught fire Monday. More than 30 firefighters battled the blaze, but officials say the building is a total loss. No one was inside the building when the fire started, and no injuries are being reported. An investigation into the blaze is ongoing. From 1017 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
The Caddo Lake State Park getting a major facelift. According to reports, the park getting a new showering facility, entrance and trail signs, plus upgrades are being made to roadways and camping sites. The park will close later this month and remain closed until the end of the year for the improvements to be made. An agreement between the state and federal government has been reached on a plan to borrow $650 million for some major highway projects. DOTD Secretary Dr. Sean Wilson says this agreement with the Federal Highway Administration is the first of its kind in Louisiana.
It demonstrates to the citizens of Louisiana that the governor was serious about saying this was not our first option, but because we had no other option, we're using it. And the projects that we've talked about in the last 20 years are going to get funded with this.
The funding will go toward widening I-10 in Baton Rouge, a new interchange on I-10 in Kenner, and a new road from I-20 directly into Barksdale Air Force Base in Bossier. The CDC says there were nearly 2.3 million cases of STDs in America last year, an all-time record for the nation. Louisiana routinely ranks in the top 5 for highest STD rates. New Orleans and Baton Rouge often feature in yearly top tens for cities with the highest rates. But the Department of Health's medical director, Dr. Joseph Kantner, says they aren't the only areas with real problems.
You look at HIV, for example, urban areas of New Orleans and Baton Rouge rise to the top in terms of incidence. But when you look at chlamydia and gonorrhea, certainly syphilis, it really is spread across the state.
Kantner says to really get to the heart of the problem, we need to change the way we talk about the disease. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh set for a week of hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Beginning today, Republicans focusing on his career as an appellate court judge, while Democrats are expected to grill him on hot-button issues that could swing the court's majority to the right. Many wondered if LSU had a 1,000-yard rusher on its roster. Well, Nick Brossette looked like that guy in the Tigers' big win over Miami. Brossette rushed for a career-high 125 yards and scored his first 2 touchdowns in college. The senior from Baton Rouge was behind Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis during his first 3 seasons at LSU and knew he would eventually get his shot.
No, I just know I had to be patient. That's the biggest thing, just being patient, being humble. I showed a lot of people out there, and just like I put on social media, my brother passed away, and I just wanted to dedicate this season for him.
LSU entered the game ranked 25th. They'll likely move up the rankings when the new polls are released later today. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Attention duck hunters.
About to take a giant step forward in terms of the quality of health care in Shreveport, North Louisiana.
Take advantage of this.
Louisiana.
Ten past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL. Time for Tuesday morning traffic. Here's Ruben.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast.
Starting things off looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on I-49 southbound near Kings Highway. If you have anything to report to us, please give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Are you arguing with Senator Kennedy's people already?
I'm not arguing. There's never an argument with those folks.
Are you making demands? Are you saying, I'm Erin freaking McCarty, kids.
Get his butt on the phone.
Do you know who I am?
Something like that. No, I'm not.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 13 past 6 o'clock. When you mentioned in the news tease that we are in the path of a tropical storm, I promise you I was so off the grid last week. I paid so little attention to anything.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first I've heard about the whole thing.
Of Gordy?
I guess.
Man, wow.
I couldn't. If you had said $1 million, if you tell me the storm's name, I wouldn't have had any idea.
Wow.
I mean,
we're off the grid.
Yes.
I love that.
Zero.
Mm-hmm.
I am as ignorant as a man can be. Don't say a word. Tell me about this storm.
His name is Gordon, and he's heading for the Gulf. Right now, he's a tropical storm. Could strengthen, become a hurricane later today. Expected to hit the central U.S. Gulf Coast, including coastal Mississippi. They do have hurricane warnings in effect through Alabama, Mississippi, and the far east portion of Louisiana.
I mean, we're pretty good. We're a pretty fur piece, as my nanny would say. We're a pretty fur piece from the Gulf Coast.
Mm-hmm.
So what is the time frame if it heads this way at all?
You're looking at the rains arriving to us sometime tomorrow. And we could get dumped on pretty big. It could get a lot of rain.
Is it moving that rapidly? Evidently so.
Yeah, center of the storm expected to track over North Louisiana on Wednesday, which is tomorrow.
Wow.
We forget this is Tuesday.
Yeah, I'm going to keep messing that up all day.
I know. So it's, we got a lot of rain this weekend, too. We needed it, but we don't need any more.
Well, how about that LSU?
Man. Was I wrong?
I've never seen a team. No, you weren't.
No, I predicted the score would be 17-6.
I've never seen a team be so dominant and play so poorly.
The dropped passes bother me a lot. We had several hit the hands. You got to catch them. You can't drop those in the SEC. You got to catch them. But I was impressed with Joe Burrow, the management of the game.
Hang on just a second.
I know he was 10 for whatever.
Matt,
but
were you the least bit impressed? He was, 11 for 24, I think?
I know his stats aren't good.
Absolutely, I was impressed.
But they were...
Really?
He's the best quarterback we've had in years. Where have you been?
You think he's better than...
Did you not watch...
Wait.
way better than Etling.
You think Joe Burrow right now is better than Danny Etling was at the end of last season?
No doubt.
Really?
Etling was horrible last season.
I wouldn't go that far.
Not impressed.
You think that Joe Burrow
this kid's got
now?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I loved how he managed
So let's compare him to previous LSU quarterbacks. Better or worse than Matt Flynn?
Better.
Really?
Go back. I don't know. Go back to Burt Jones. I don't know. I'm impressed with this kid.
So you think that wait a second. You are sitting there telling me on this... Not Monday, but Tuesday morning.
Mm-hmm.
What's the day? The 3rd, the 4th, the 5th?
4th, yeah.
Whatever the hell day it is. You're telling me that Joe Burrow could be an LSU quarterback on par with Burt Jones?
Could be. Could very well be.
Could be.
You got to catch the ball. There were how many drop passes?
There was 4 in the first quarter.
Yeah, the drop passes alone that hit him in the hands. I mean, if they'd made those catches, those stats would be irrelevant today. We wouldn't even be talking about them.
Are you reassessing your outlook for LSU season?
Oh, hugely.
Really?
Yeah, Miami was a loss for me.
They showed me nothing on offense.
Are you kidding?
What game were you freaking watching?
No, they were awful.
The O-line dominated.
They were out.
How many sacks? I don't think any. None.
They
dominated the line. What were you watching?
What was the total yardage at the end of the game?
The yardage doesn't matter because they railed it back.
400 to 200?
They reeled it in. When they took the big lead, they reeled it in.
I'm not trying to be pessimistic
You're such a moron.
What I'm asking you is the LSU that you saw against Miami on Sunday night, in your mind, is...
an SEC contender.
Is going to be capable of giving Alabama all they want.
I looked at my son while we were watching that game, and I said, Nick Saban is watching tonight, and he's a little worried. I'm not saying a lot of worried. He is a little worried. as opposed to tuning over and watching American Idol or whatever?
Fascinated that you and I basically saw two different games.
Not you and I, you and the rest of the world.
It was a yawner. It was boring.
Oh, come on.
It took almost 4 hours.
Golly.
Well, they took their foot off the gas pedal, but I'll tell you the one thing that Joe Burrow does that no quarterback in recent history with LSU has been able to do.
What's that?
Read a defense. He was checking at the line, calling, switching the run plays. That's what happened on that big 75.
Audible on that big one, yeah.
So I am in the minority on this one.
Oh,
yes.
You're the one guy who saw this game differently.
The Brissett kid looked pretty good.
Sharp.
And the defense was excellent.
Defense was excellent.
But,
the O-line,
Miami's
I was surprised with the O-line.
You thought Miami's quarter, Rozier, is that his Rozier? I don't know.
Rozier.
He doesn't like to be called Rozier, FYI.
Who cares? He's a loser.
Yeah, exactly. What did they face? What was the challenge?
They were facing number 8 team in the country. Come on. They're not number 8. They went 10-0 to start last season. Now they went in the pits at the end of the year.
They went in the pits on Sunday night.
They did go in the pits. I think something with the big crowd and the big location, the big stadium.
You are more optimistic.
Oh, yeah. I got to rewrite my article that said they were going 6-6.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was impressed.
You know who Joe Burrow reminds me of? Trent Dilfer. He's a smart kid, throws away the ball, can read the defense. He may not have the best arm. He may not have a cannon where he can launch it 80 yards down the field.
Did anybody watch Tua Tagovailoa play for Alabama?
I watched a smidge.
Oh, my God.
Wow.
Just give him the Heisman now. 19 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update right now. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty-one past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU players earned recognition from the SEC this week. Linebacker Jacob Phillips was named co-defensive player of the week for his pick-six, 7-tackle performance against Miami. Place kicker Cole Tracy, a grad transfer from Division II Assumption College, was named co-special teams player for his 4-field goal effort that included a school record-tying 54-yarder. Former Haynesville Golden Tornado star and current Louisiana Tech defensive back James Jackson earned Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. In the road win over South Alabama Saturday, Jackson had 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and half a sack. It's the first conference award for the Bulldog Jr. And LSU alum Alex Bregman homered in his 3rd straight game to help Houston to a 4-1 win over Minnesota. Yuli Gurriel also dialed long distance to back Dallas Keuchel. The former Razorback scattered 5 hits over 6 innings and gave up an unearned run to notch his 11th win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, 23 past 6 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. The Keel app is a free download from Office Furniture Source. So what's the beef between Sheriff Steve Prater and the governor? And I assume you had Steve on last week to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I assume you had somebody from the governor's office, despite our back and forth, up and down relationship with them.
Yeah, the sheriff is a little bit miffed because his wife, Carolyn Prater, was nominated by the Red River Valley Association, the Caddo Levee Board, and the Caddo Commission to serve on the Red River Waterway Commission. There was an opening, and she got all the paperwork in, all those agencies okayed her, and the governor's office turned her down and essentially moved someone from the commission into the seat that was vacant and then filled the other seat with somebody from Pineville, leaving Caddo Parish with only 2 representatives on this 14-member board where we provide 40% of the funding. We have 2 of 14 slots now. We had 3, and we provide 40% of the money. Bossier's got 1 rep, I believe. They also provide a hefty chunk. And the governor's office said her paperwork was not in within the 30-day window. Well, the sheriff provided all the paperwork, the signed documentation. It looks like it's all in order, and it all was signed in time.
Wait. So, in effect, the governor and or people in his office are...
He says they're lying. I said, is the governor's office lying? He said, yeah. And they claim that it depends on what date the vacancy was declared. They're twisting things around. But the sheriff tells me it's clear retaliation for his opposition to the governor's criminal justice reform and his outspokenness against it.
Do you think for an instant that if Ms. Prater's paperwork had been in with 10 days to spare, that this still wouldn't have happened?
This would have still happened.
Of course.
This would have still happened. And the governor's office
Now, do you think there was a
denies it.
conversation at any point between the sheriff and his beloved, and he said to her, the governor's going to kind of screw us?
No, he didn't even know she did this. He didn't even know she filled it all out. That's the indication I got from him. He had no clue she was even applying for this. No, he said she does her thing. She's good at this stuff. She's been working with the levee district for years.
So when they're sitting at the dinner table, back and forth, what did you do today? Oh, nothing, honey. Yeah, me either.
He didn't. He says that he wasn't involved in her submitting any of this paperwork. Didn't call anybody on the commission.
There's a difference between being involved or not being involved.
I got the impression he didn't know.
That's what he said. Now, whether that's accurate or... There's a lot of questions involved in this whole thing.
But, here's the other thing. The sheriff told me, and I don't know if he said it on the air, but he texted me. He said he got a call from Senator Greg Tarver, who said, there's no way, the governor told me there's no way he's going to appoint your wife because of your criticism of him on criminal justice reform.
Of course not.
That's what Senator Tarver told him. Now, I asked the governor's person that on Thursday or Friday. She said that it's absolutely untrue, that the governor did not tell Senator Tarver that. Therefore, Senator Tarver couldn't have told the sheriff that, or if he did, he wasn't telling the truth. So it's getting all convoluted. It's a mess. It's a mess.
Well, remember that, little promo we have on the air about whose ball's bigger? That's basically what this is.
Now, we didn't have the governor on. He sent out his PR person, Shauna Sanford. She did the dirty work.
The one you yelled at a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, and she yelled at me a few weeks before that. I mean, we have an on-again, off-again relationship, which is fine. She stays in touch. We're in touch. But
who needs that kind of touching?
Yeah, I don't care.
I feel like I've dated women like this.
There's nothing you can do to hurt my feelings. There really isn't. I mean, whatever. I don't care.
But it just sounds...
I find it funny that they want to come out and defend this. If you think it's a non-issue, just go about your business. Manage the hurricane, do whatever you're doing. Forget about this little tiff in northwest Louisiana. But it bothered them when the sheriff said the governor's lying. That gets under their skin. And they got to come out and find a way to defend it.
Now, is this one of those... We have had members of this program, say both of them, we have received an occasional email and or call from the governor's office.
Sure.
When things when we did something they didn't like.
Yeah.
Um,
We often do.
yeah.
He called us one day driving around listening.
Tell you what, hold the phone. We'll get back to this throughout the morning. It
Boy.
just, it.
There's so much this past week. We also had the big forum at Southern that I could not get off the phone Friday. This had to go all the way to our legal people.
I know nothing about this.
This is incredible.
I know nothing. What does a mayoral forum at Southern University have to do with you and our legal team?
Oh man. God. Wait till you hear about this one.
29 past 6 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. I got to stay home more. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zaire.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
With Tropical Storm Gordon headed towards the Gulf Coast, Governor John Bel Edwards has declared a state of emergency in advance of the storm. 200 National Guard troops are being deployed. The governor says flooding is a big concern.
Much of southeast Louisiana can expect to see heavy rain of 4 to 6 inches, possibly 7 inches of rain in some areas, along with storm surge of 3 to 5 feet.
The city of New Orleans could take a direct hit from the storm, expected to be a hurricane when it moves onshore this week. Mayor LaToya Cantrell says the city has the pumps and the power to protect, but they're not taking any chances.
Safety is our absolute first priority. That's why we're taking every step and all steps necessary to ensure that we are prepared.
A hurricane warning has now been issued for parts of the central Gulf Coast, including the Alabama, Mississippi, and eastern Louisiana coastlines. The Long John Silver's restaurant on Kings Highway destroyed in a fire. The restaurant caught fire Monday. More than 30 firefighters battled the blaze, but officials say the building is a total loss. A man fighting for his life after apparently being shot. Matt Parker has that.
A Shreveport man is clinging to life after arriving at a Shreveport hospital with a gunshot wound to the side. Police believe that the shooting happened around 8 p.m. Monday night in the 3500 block of Woodrow Avenue. Police urge anyone with information on the shooting to call Caddo Crime Stoppers at 673-7373. From 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, I'm Matt Parker.
More reaction to the deal for auctioneers to take over management of University Health and the local med school.
There's nothing in Shreveport right now, either in terms of hospitals or with our medical school, that's nationally ranked. Auctioneers is the #1 hospital in the entirety of the state of Louisiana. They're the #1 hospital in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. They are amongst the best hospitals in the entirety of the United States of America.
State Representative Cedric Glover. An agreement between the state and federal government reached on a plan to borrow $650 million for major roadway projects. DOTD Secretary Sean Wilson says the funding will go towards widening I-10 in Baton Rouge, a new interchange on I-10 in Kenner, and a new road from I-20 directly into Barksdale. Wilson says the State Bond Commission will have to pick an underwriter at its next meeting later this month.
We trust that the Bond Commission is going to do their due diligence as they have with us in the past for bond issuances and make sure the money's in the bank when we're ready to get started for work.
The state will have to pay back the loan, also known as Garvey bonds, over the next 12 years. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh set for a week of hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Republicans are focusing on Kavanaugh's 12-year career as an appellate court judge, while Democrats are expected to grill Kavanaugh on hot-button issues that could swing the court's majority. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert and Erin, 25 from 7 o'clock. So I'm gone, and suddenly you're involved with the Town Square Media, our parent company. I take a couple of days off, and suddenly the lawyers are flying in, and you're having these private meetings. What the hell, kid?
No lawyers flew in, but yeah, we had to get the legal team involved. It all sparked from a forum at Southern University Thursday night, a mayoral forum. Most of the candidates were there. I think Adrian Perkins was not there. There may have been one or two the others that were not there. And there was a comment made during the forum that many folks are saying was racially divisive. And it was Anna Marie Arpino. And I don't know, Matt, you have it handy? Here's kind of what she said.
Learn to be able to get along and to deal and to understand. And then I came back to Shreveport, Louisiana, went to a school here, the upper level, came back to my mother and said, what's wrong with these people? I have 2 Negroes, which is what they were called then, and 1 Asian, and my whole school's upside down. What do you bring me to? She said, little Anna Marie, I'm sorry, but you're used to D.C.
Okay, quality not the best.
Yeah, but she's trying to explain, and I had a long conversation with her afterwards. She's trying to explain that when she went to school in D.C., it was all integrated. All the kids were equal. There was no distinction among the children. And then when she came back here...
I'm not trying to put you on the spot. I couldn't understand. What did she say?
I'm not going to repeat it. Matt can. I'm not going to repeat it.
Well, she basically said, I came back to school in Shreveport, and in my class there was 2 Negroes and an Asian.
And she's in a crowd of...
What was the reaction of the group?
They were not happy. There was an indication, and I've not confirmed this, that there was some tension after the forum and that she may have been escorted out. She denies that and completely denies that to me, said, I was not escorted out. A police officer walked out with me because he was going the same way I was going. She said she's absolutely not racist, and my whole problem with her quote is not the N word or the Asian word. It's as they were called then. As they were called back then.
Right.
That's saying you're another group. We're not you know, it's like folk, I can't even describe it. It's like being in that crowd and telling them, remember like you used to be called? Like you're not one of me, you're a different group. It's like putting a dividing line in between the groups. I have invited her to come on.
What was the word your mother used for black people?
I don't even know. I don't even remember. It was never said. I don't remember at all. Not even familiar with it being used as a distinction in my home. I'm being honest with you.
The point I'm making is that times do change and language does change.
Yes, they do.
The point I'm going to make is Anna Marie Arpino is not like 95 years old.
No.
She was not. She's not from the segregated South of Bull Connor or Orville Faubus or Ross Barnett or those guys.
No. I'm just telling you, some words you just should never say anymore, even if you're referring to history.
Especially at Southern University.
Yeah.
639, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel traffic update. Ruben's here.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Speaking of racially insensitive, well, maybe not racially insensitive. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel, Robert and Erin, Jack Spring Electric Shock Buster button, hopefully never to be used again.
Oh, we had to use it last week.
What?
Oh, we had to use it last week.
And we discovered it was broken.
Yeah.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Why did we have to use it last week?
Oh, why did we have to use it last week, Erin?
Here's the deal. When I had Senator Tarver on to talk about the Ochsner deal,
yeah,
I got an
Pardon me just a second. What has happened over the last 5 to 7 days that has made you start pronouncing that word correctly?
I'm just messing with you. Ochsner. When we were talking about the Ochsner deal.
It's Ochsner.
I know. Ochsner.
That. See?
Yeah. Got it.
You're like a linguist.
I got an email from a longtime reporter in Baton Rouge who sent me this long list of questions to ask Tarver the next time we talked to him about this deal. And it was hi, if you get a chance, ask him about
Ochsner taking over management of University Health and the med
why
school.
He was against them, now he's for them, blah, blah. There were a lot of questions. And I simply said, get your finger ready again, Matt.
No.
I'll be careful. I simply said, this reporter is going to send me a list of questions and do his job. And I said, send me a check.
With some extra words in there.
Yeah, there was another word in there.
What
Beep,
word?
send me a check.
What word? I mean, don't say it again.
Rhymes with which.
Really?
Which? Send me a check.
You said that?
Yeah, I
What
did.
the hell is wrong with you?
I don't
That's
know.
what I said.
You get upset about Anna Marie Arpino throwing out N-words, and you, a woman, demean other women with the B word?
He's a man. It's
That's
a
even
dude.
Oh, well, that's okay
I
then.
can call a dude a witch.
Wow.
I was like, he sent me this long, like,
What's that scent in the air? Is it double standard?
like, do this for me. Ask him this. Like, get him on the phone yourself, witch.
Speaking of, what did you think about the Aretha Franklin funeral? Did it bother you as much as it did me that Louis Farrakhan was on the stage? Did it bother you as much as it did me that LeBron James was in the front row? I looked for about 4 hours, literally off and on. I could not find evidence that LeBron James ever met Aretha Franklin.
Really?
Yeah.
He must have asked to be there.
No, he was asked to be there.
I know, he probably asked if he could be there.
He didn't even know who Aretha Franklin was.
Trust me, he's not going unless he asks.
So I ask you once again, did Louis Farrakhan, the satanic Jews, that's what he said, and that's one of the more mild things he said.
Didn't surprise me.
But does it bother you that he would be invited by the family, by the organ? Really?
You can invite who you want.
that
Aretha
literally-
Franklin was pretty radical, if you go back and look.
Literally, the David Duke of black people was on stage in a seat.
Please.
You don't think
come
Louis
on.
Farrakhan is the equivalent of David Duke? You don't think Louis Farrakhan is the black David Duke? Of course he is.
Louis Farrakhan
is a hater. He's a bigot.
He's a hater. Don't get me wrong.
He's an anti-Semite.
But the group that he belongs
a
to, I don't think
racist.
strung people up by the neck from trees. The group David Duke belonged to strung people up by their necks from trees.
So you would not equate Louis Farrakhan and David Duke.
I do, but not equal.
So do you think that was out of line, him being
No!
on?
I already
Really?
answered this. Aretha Franklin was a radical. What? Read about her. She was in with Dr. King from the jump. She wanted to travel the nation.
So she hates Jews?
I didn't say that.
But
you stretch words. You're ridiculous. You're such the black
if you-
helicopter's on the roof for
If
you.
you are going to, should people, is it right or wrong?
I'm going to have who the hell I want at my funeral. Kiss my...
But
it's not for you to judge.
But you're not. Of course it is.
No, it's my freaking funeral, you moron.
But what does it say about Aretha Franklin that a
I
man
don't
who is
care.
so
She's
openly,
dead.
so openly anti-Semitic? And do you think that she went over the guest list, or do you think that?
I don't
Do you think
know.
that this was made so political that it turned into such a Trump bash fest? That it was designed by people that
The
it was
Trump Bash Fest was the McCain funeral.
that it was put together. We'll get to that later.
Oh,
that it was
my
put
God.
together by people maybe not even in her inner circle.
I don't know, and I don't care. She was laid to rest. She's dead.
What did you think about that minister feeling up, going to second base with
that
Ariana
was-
Grande?
And the other minister who made some really, really
It was the same guy, Ellis.
yeah, some really bad remarks. I didn't like those at all. But I haven't watched the funeral from beginning to end.
It's
I'm
about
going
9
to.
days long.
Yeah, I did watch the McCain funeral because I was more. Honestly,
Have you
I was
seen
more
where
interested
he's
in that.
literally he's second base and poor Ariana Grande. And she's
I
like,
saw that.
Holy
Yeah.
cow!
I
And then
know.
he said, "I thought your name was what? Like off a Taco Bell menu?"
I know.
What the hell,
I
dude?
know, that's
welcome
just-
to church.
Yeah, I didn't like that at all. Aretha can do what she wants. Aretha's family can do what they want.
I would be willing to bet you. I would put the odds at about 90% that the organization of Aretha Franklin's funeral was in no way Aretha's wishes.
Probably not.
I'm not going to.
But think about this, Robert. At my funeral, there will be people in the audience that I completely disagree with, do not get along with, do not like, but yet we had some commonality that they wanted
But
to be
would
there.
you put, if you were Aretha Franklin or Erin McCarty for that matter,
Mm-hmm.
who marched with Dr. King, who preached, let's not judge those children by the color of their skin, but by their character.
Sure.
And then you have a hater, a bigot, an anti-Semite, like Louis Farrakhan on stage in a seat of honor? That's pushing it just
I don't
a
know
little.
that was Aretha's doing.
My point exactly.
But it's okay. That's what the family wanted. They did it.
It wasn't even the family. That was literally a political rally. 648, 1017 FM, 710 Keel traffic update, weather update coming up next.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds and sun with a high of 92, then patchy clouds, low 73 tonight. Clouds limiting sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Eight before 7 o'clock, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. A little sports. Here's a lot of Tim.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU players earned recognition from the SEC this week. Linebacker Jacob Phillips was named co-defensive player of the week for his pick-six, 7-tackle performance against Miami. Place kicker Cole Tracy, a grad transfer from Division II Assumption College, was named co-special teams player for his 4 field goal effort that included a school record-tying 54-yarder. Former Haynesville Golden Tornado star and current Louisiana Tech defensive back James Jackson earned Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. In the road win over South Alabama Saturday, Jackson had 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and half a sack. It's the first conference award for the Bulldog Jr. And LSU alum Alex Bregman homered in his 3rd straight game to help Houston to a 4-1 win over Minnesota. Yuli Gurriel also dialed long distance to back Dallas Keuchel. The former Razorback scattered 5 hits over 6 innings and gave up an unearned run to notch his 11th win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
1017 FM 710 Keel. So what else did I miss last week?
The other thing you missed were all the texts that were going around with regard to mold at SPD and possible black mold.
Now, was this related to the memo note? Bluntly put, it didn't look all that official. That was put on Facebook by a Shreveport police officer.
Yes. Yeah, and that memo was not sent out by anybody in management at SPD. It was put in boxes of some officers. And I promised I was going to go down there Friday.
I was about to ask you.
With my Q-tips and my camera.
And do
but
what?
I got distracted. I was going to swab some things. You know, and people were saying, because I was like, it's my building. I own that building, right?
No, I don't think so.
And that's what people kept texting me. They go, yeah, you own the White House too, but you're not allowed to go in and just swab everywhere.
Try and do a little swabbing in there.
So I was going to take some Q-tips and go swab for black mold and get it tested. But I got distracted. I had a toenail to take care of, and so I couldn't go down there.
Probably just as well.
She got afraid she was going to get arrested,
but
which I said would be the greatest thing that ever happened
Matt
to the
wanted
show.
me arrested Friday, but I didn't go down there.
Matt wants you arrested this morning.
I may go down there today. I got my Q-tips at the ready.
Really?
And I'll just swab away. Because I'm not getting a response from the city leaders, which is, to me, it was like Dan and I were talking about last week. If all I'm hearing is crickets, it makes me more suspicious. If you answer me and go, we care about our employees, we want to do the best by them, no evidence that we are working on the problem.
Air conditioner still broken?
Parts of the building, air is still broken. Chief's got air, but other parts of the building.
You know that for sure?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Mayor's got air.
Mayor's got air.
Yeah,
Nice air.
Yeah.
Some parts of the police station, no air.
And Erin can't get a swab.
I need to go get a swab.
6:56, here's Rush on Keel.
Well, the latest episode of Trump hate comes from the Houston area. Kelly Burke, a West University Place councilwoman, yelled at a group of teenage girls because one of them wore a Trump T-shirt. The teenagers were in a checkout line at Tiny's Milk and Cookies when they were approached by Burke, who shouted at them, "Grab them by the P word." When she screamed it again, the girls were afraid the woman was about to go postal. And then Burke yelled, "MAGA, MAGA, MAGA." She was shaking her fist at the Make America Great Again shirt that one of the girls was wearing. Now, the Harris County Constable's Office has filed a Class C misdemeanor charge against Councilwoman Burke for disorderly conduct. When a reporter arrived at her house to get a comment, Burke yelled at him, told him to get lost because she was putting her kids to bed. Now, Councilwoman Burke later issued an apology blaming Donald Trump. Through her lawyer, she said, "I do not believe repeating the words of the President of the United States is a crime. However, I will apologize again on behalf of myself, the President of the United States, and all the media outlets who repeated his words both electronically and in print." Ms. Burke belongs to an organization called Moms Demand Action for Gun Sense in America. I guess it's a good thing she didn't have one with her, maybe. You believe the P word really ticks her off that much? Why? There are a lot of warnings you don't want to miss, like a sign saying "bridge out up ahead." But in the digital world, there may be no warning when it comes to cyber threats. That's why the new LifeLock identity theft protection now adds Norton Security. LifeLock uses proprietary technology to help detect threats to your identity, and Norton Security protects your devices from ransomware, emerging viruses, and other online threats. And if you have a problem, their agents will work with you to fix it. Now, of course, no one can stop every cyber threat or prevent all identity theft or even monitor all transactions in all businesses. But having new LifeLock with Norton means that they'll warn you about the threats you could otherwise miss on your own. Join now. Get an extra 10% off your first year, plus a $25 Amazon gift card with annual enrollment. Go to lifelock.com or call 800-440-4833. Use the promo code RUSH. Terms apply.
Everything's still looking nice and clear for your early morning drive to work or school, but look out later on this morning for some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline, 687-ROAD.
KeelAccuweather.com forecast partly to mostly cloudy today, a chance of rain, small, about 20 to 30%. High today, low 90s. 73 at Keel. It's 101.7 FM and 710 Keel, 7 o'clock. And it's time for Fox News.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel.
Good morning, 703. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Miss Erin, local news. It is just seconds away.
Preparing for Gordon. We'll talk more about that. Another night of violence. We'll have more on that, too. And a local restaurant burns down.
We sort of discussed this last hour. LSU and Miami. Which game did you see? Erin saw one game. Matt saw the same game. I saw something totally different. Erin now is borderline, as Al Sharpton might say, jitty about the Tigers' chances of actually being a national championship contender.
Oh, boy.
Don't say anything. You can back up your hopes in just a couple of seconds.
All right.
Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour, and it's here on Keel.
information. KEEL News now.
With Tropical Storm Gordon headed toward the Gulf Coast, Governor John Bel Edwards has issued a statewide state of emergency. National Guard troops have been activated. The governor says Gordon is a real threat to Louisiana, even though Alabama and Mississippi coastlines are under a hurricane warning. He says the forecast track of Gordon can easily shift west, putting more of Louisiana under the cone of uncertainty.
This particular storm has the potential to be very serious, and so I'm asking everyone to pay attention, to be prudent, stay informed, and do as you are directed by your local officials.
The city of New Orleans could take a direct hit. Mayor LaToya Cantrell says the city has the pumps and the power to protect, but they're still doing a voluntary evacuation order for some areas.
The city of New Orleans is making preparations for Tropical Storm Gordon that will impact our area late Tuesday through Wednesday.
Hurricane warnings now been issued for parts of the central Gulf Coast, including the Alabama, Mississippi, and East Louisiana coastlines. The Long John Silver's on Kings Highway destroyed in a fire. The restaurant caught fire Monday. More than 30 firefighters battled the blaze, but officials say the building is a total loss. No one hurt. More reaction to the deal for Auctioner to take over management of University Health and the local med school. State Representative Cedric Glover.
I'm elated at the fact that we're now about to take a giant step forward in terms of the quality of health care in Shreveport, North Louisiana.
Glover says Auctioner is highly ranked, and this could help drive down the cost of health care in northwest Louisiana. A Shreveport man clings to life after arriving at a local hospital with a gunshot wound to his side. Police believe the shooting happened last night on Woodrow Avenue. Police urge anyone with information to contact Crime Stoppers. A Texas park's getting a major renovation. Matt Parker with that.
The Caddo Lake State Park is getting a major facelift. According to reports, the park is getting a new showering facility, entrance, and trail signs. Plus, upgrades are being made to roadways and camping sites. The park will close later this month and remain closed until the end of the year so the improvements can be made. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The LSU Tigers have found a running back. Nick Brosette rushed for a career-high 125 yards and scored his first 2 TDs in college. The Ohio State transfer quarterback Joe Burrow talked about his first game in purple and gold.
Went and tried to execute the game plan that was given to me to the best of my ability. Thought I played okay. Us as an offense, we played average, and we kind of dominated the whole game, so we have a lot to get better at.
LSU entered Sunday's game ranked 25th. They'll likely move up once the new rankings are out today. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
.101.7 FM, 710 KEEL traffic update for Tuesday. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Hurd Avenue and Greenwood Road is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Good morning. It's 12 past 7 o'clock. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The KEEL app is always a free download, presented by Office Furniture Source. So LSU, Sunday night, big winner. What was the final, 33-14?
17,
17,
I think, yeah.
okay, against Miami.
Right.
And I'm really glad LSU won.
Mm-hmm.
B, I'm stunned that you and I, and to some degree Matt, watching the same game, saw two completely different football.
I don't get you. I really don't get you.
Mark, you know what I learned from that game the other night? Why Mark Richt got fired at Georgia. I mean, that was his game plan was what do you think? Let me ask you this. Because you've been talking, this Joe Burrow is the kid. He could be the greatest. Erin last hour, if you missed it, said Joe Burrow could be the greatest LSU quarterback since Burt Jones.
I was impressed. I was very impressed.
He was
how
11
managed,
for 24.
Come on, Robert. How many balls hit people in the hands?
What has been?
How bad did they dial things back after they got a big lead?
What has been LSU's biggest problem at the quarterback position the last 3, 4, 5 years? Fill in the blank with whatever number you want. What's been the biggest problem?
No passing game.
Okay. At what point into the season are opponents of LSU going to do what opponents of LSU have done for the last half a decade or longer, i.e., put 7 or 8 men in the box and make the quarterback beat you? Do you know what Miami did not do Sunday night?
None of that. They chased him once.
None of that.
I think
if you were going to play LSU, what would you do? You would say, you know what?
Put him on his butt.
I'm going to put 8 guys up front, and I'm going to stop the running game, and I'm going to make Joe Burrow throw to beat you.
Mm-hmm.
Was there anything that happened in that game Sunday with the LSU passing game that would make you think for an instant that if the running game is shut down, just like they did with Geis, just like opponents did with Fournette, just like opponents have done with LSU for the past X number of years, they've said we're going to stop the run and we're going to make LSU throw to beat us. And for years, the LSU offense, it's been your beef all along. What happened on Sunday that would make you think that if future opponents of LSU put 7 or 8 guys up front and say, we are going to stop the run and we are going to make Joe Burrow and the LSU receivers beat us?
His passes were way on target. Unlike many before him, they were on the money. There were several drops. He scrambled a couple of times nicely.
Those are going to be the same receivers you're going to have in a couple of weeks.
Oh, you're gonna work with them. You're going to drill in them the importance of catching those balls.
So basically now you're on a wing and a prayer. You're saying, well, they weren't very good, but when Alabama lines up 9 guys on the line and says you're going to have to throw to beat us, they'll be ready.
Oh, they'll be ready. They will get them ready.
It's not even getting them ready. It's just finding who their number one guy is going to be. When they came into the game, they were quote unquote running back by committee until Brissett or whatever his name is stepped up and showed what he had, and they kind of leaned on him heavily. He became the number one guy.
And you're going to do the same with the receivers.
You just got to figure out who your number one guy is going to be at wideout.
Who's the guy that's going to catch the ball?
So next week, they got Southeast Louisiana.
Yeah, that doesn't matter. Then they go to Auburn.
Okay,
that's
so when
the
LSU
test.
plays Auburn and Auburn throws up an 8-man line or whatever it happens to be, when Gus Malzahn at Auburn says, we're going to make LSU throw to beat us, is LSU going to be able to throw to beat anybody?
I think so.
And I didn't see that at all Sunday.
I saw some very great passes. I saw some horrible drops. I don't know what game you were watching.
They were 11 for 24.
I get that.
And I'm saying to you again, they're going to have the same receivers in a couple of weeks. It's not like suddenly they're going to fly in Jerry Rice and Lance Allworth and Raymond Berry.
You work with them. You work with the ones you have. You try to figure out who's going to be the breakout. You didn't have your breakout game Sunday night. You did for your running back. Well, your breakout guy could show up this Saturday against Southeastern.
You know what I got Sunday night? Never, ever, ever did I see a team win by so much and show me so little.
Dummy.
He's such an idiot.
He really is.
Can we kick him out? Take another day of vacation.
Defense was good.
The O-line was good. The quarterback, good. His signal calling was good. His changing at the line was good. The special teams were incredible. so many phases of the LSU game were very good. The numbers do not bear out how well LSU did. Sometimes numbers are wrong.
Last year I was a big Danny Etling guy. I thought he was a lot better than people gave him credit for, and I think Joe Burrow is a lot better than Danny Etling. He can read. He was reading the defense like no one's been able to read in years.
Did Steve Ensminger, as an offensive coordinator, show you anything other than the same old stuff?
No, I saw a new offense. I didn't see the jet sweep. You know when the game I watched, I saw the jet sweeps? Maryland.
Yeah, because Matt Canada's the head coach.
Jet sweep left, jet sweep. I was like, stop that. Come on, it looks like LSU's playing. LSU mixed it up a lot. We had pass plays, we had run play, we had options.
So right now, given your history of blind delusion to the LSU football program, you can sit here and look at me watching that game on Sunday night and say, I was not only encouraged by the quarterback play, but I was encouraged by the passing game. And I think down the line, when defenses stack the line to stop our running game and say, LSU, if you're going to beat us, we're going to make you throw, you are confident that LSU can do that.
The only thing I worry about is he going to be quick enough? Is he, because he takes a long set and launches. I'm worried that if they're coming and there's 8 guys coming at you, is he going to be able to release it quick?
And you are confident after watching Sunday night's game, delusional historically as you have been, you are confident, reasonably so, that LSU can actually contend with Alabama for the SEC Western title.
Oh, absolutely. By the way, I want to welcome folks back that got back from the game. Do you know folks got stuck in like 6-hour traffic delays getting out of Dallas? It was incredible. I had friends who were like, we've been sitting here for 3 hours on the freeway. There was some sort of big pileup. I don't know, but I'm glad you're home. I'm glad you made it, and you're purple and gold. Go Tigers.
Yeah, national championship just months away.
Now. You ultramaroon. Come on.
We saw 2 different games. 19 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Ruben's here, traffic update.
The intersection at Hurd Avenue and Greenwood Road is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Shed Road near Swan Lake Road in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU players earned recognition from the SEC this week. Linebacker Jacob Phillips was named co-defensive player of the week for his pick-6, 7-tackle performance against Miami. Place kicker Cole Tracy, a grad transfer from Division II Assumption College, was named co-special teams player for his 4 field goal effort that included a school record-tying 54-yarder. Former Haynesville Golden Tornado star and current Louisiana Tech defensive back James Jackson earned Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. In the road win over South Alabama Saturday, Jackson had 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and half a sack. It's the first conference award for the Bulldog Jr. And LSU alum Alex Bregman homered in his 3rd straight game to help Houston to a 4-1 win over Minnesota. Yuli Gurriel also dialed long distance to back Dallas Keuchel. The former Razorback scattered 5 hits over 6 innings and gave up an unearned run to notch his 11th win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Twenty-four past 7 o'clock. Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. The Jack Spring electric shock buster button in use last week in my absence.
Mm-hmm.
You really said that.
I really did. I really did.
What is wrong with you?
I have my moments.
Your moments are becoming
He seems to think we have to use it more when you're gone.
We do. She's out of control when you're not here to rein her in.
Would you say this is the case not only on the air but off?
Yes.
I mean, is she nuttier off the air, too?
Yes.
Probably. That's probably true.
She's like a runaway train when you're not here, pulling back on the lever.
Really?
Yeah, she makes
Out
my
of
life
control.
miserable.
Yeah.
Miserable. Yeah.
It's bad.
It's horrible.
Mm-hmm. It is bad. I went out of control. I'm readily admitting it.
What are you working on so feverishly down there?
I'm working on Gordon stuff, getting stuff posted.
Gordon
on
McKernan?
No. No. What's his phone number, by the way?
Oh, the Storm Gordon.
Storm Gordon, yeah.
Which, by the way,
he should sponsor it. We should do a Tropical Storm Gordon report brought to you by Gordon McKernan.
I paid so little attention to anything in the news last week when I was on vacation that when you said this morning tropical storm, the first I'd heard. So what's the outlook? We just saw looking on TV down around Biloxi and stuff where it's supposed to come around. It's sunny in Biloxi, but it's supposed to hit us tomorrow?
Yeah, we're going to see the rains tomorrow and Thursday. The storm is right now centered 190 miles east-southeast of the Mississippi River. It's out in the Gulf.
What's it going like, about 300 miles an hour?
It's moving pretty quick. The winds right now are 65 miles an hour, so it's not even a hurricane yet. It's just a tropical storm. It could gain hurricane strength sometime later today. National Guard troops have been deployed to southeast Louisiana. The governor's declared a state of emergency. New Orleans is getting ready. They have issued a voluntary evacuation order for folks that live outside the levee protection system in New Orleans. So just FYI, it's voluntary.
Yeah, there's a system you can count on.
Yeah, exactly. If it does turn into a hurricane, it's going to be a Cat 1, which is not, that's not a big storm. But the rain it's going to dump is what people are concerned about. They're worried about the flooding and how long it may sit and just dump rain.
Well, obviously not much because it's going to be here tomorrow night. If it's moving that rapidly, it's certainly not going to be in New Orleans or Biloxi or Mobile or anywhere else.
It's got a big wingspan, if you will. So as it moves ashore, it may not be moving fast, but because of its wingspan, it's just going to be dumping rain. So a lot of concern about that. And, we keep an eye on it. We have to watch it now because we get the remnants. Could get flooding in our area.
Cedric Glover was in last week. And is there a date for auctioneer taking over? Is it a done deal? What's the plan?
It's not quite a done deal. You still have to get approval from the LSU Board of Supervisors, I believe. And the Joint Legislative Budget Committee is going to have a hearing.
Cedric, who has been all along a big backer of Biomedical Research Foundation, how does he feel about auctioneer taking over?
He seemed pleased. He seems to think this could help drive prices down in medical costs down in Shreveport-Bossier. He thinks you'll have one of the biggest competitors in the nation here, auctioneer being highly ranked medical facility, and it will indeed help drive the prices down. He's hopeful. He sounded hopeful for the most part.
Yeah, I think Cedric's biggest problem with this whole thing is that it took this long to get here, because if you remember, a few years ago, BRF tried to bring in auctioneer as like part of a partnership type deal, and it got shut down by various people.
Did he have anything to say about his legislative compadre, his good friend, his brother I'm going to say brother in arms, Greg Tarver?
No, we didn't talk about that at all. We didn't. He
Really?
did talk about the funding disparity that he said he hoped would be addressed. But he seemed very
because
hopeful.
auctioneer's not going to get. It's not like we're going to get any more money.
Right.
With auctioneer taking over.
Actually,
auctioneer's getting a little more.
They're getting they're getting like, what was it, $45 million more than
BRF was getting. Yeah, they are going to be getting.
How did they pull that off?
That was part of the deal. They worked out with the governor and the state leaders. They worked out a bit of a funding change.
Really?
Which is going to be helpful. But it's not where we need to be in terms of equity, if you would talk to Representative Glover. But it is a step in the right direction, which is a good thing.
So where's that 45?
October 1 could be the takeover. It's a 10-year deal with an option, I think, for 2 more 5-year deals or something like that. And having an auctioneer in town is a good thing. I mean, you got another big medical player in your community.
29 past 7 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Miss Erin has local news up next. Here's Ruben.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Hearn Avenue near Millicent Way, and we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
With Tropical Storm Gordon headed towards the Gulf Coast, Governor John Bel Edwards has declared a state of emergency in advance of the storm. 200 National Guard troops are being deployed. The governor says flooding is a big concern.
Much of southeast Louisiana can expect to see heavy rain of 4 to 6 inches, possibly 7 inches of rain in some areas, along with storm surge of 3 to 5 feet.
The city of New Orleans could take a direct hit from the storm, expected to be a hurricane when it moves onshore this week. Mayor LaToya Cantrell says the city has the pumps and the power to protect, but they're not taking any chances.
Safety is our absolute first priority. That's why we're taking every step and all steps necessary to ensure that we are prepared.
A hurricane warning has now been issued for parts of the central Gulf Coast, including the Alabama, Mississippi, and eastern Louisiana coastlines. The Long John Silver's restaurant on Kings Highway destroyed in a fire. The restaurant caught fire Monday. More than 30 firefighters battled the blaze, but officials say the building is a total loss. A man fighting for his life after apparently being shot. Matt Parker has that.
A Shreveport man is clinging to life after arriving at a Shreveport hospital with a gunshot wound to the side. Police believe that the shooting happened around 8 p.m. Monday night in the 3500 block of Woodrow Avenue. Police urge anyone with information on the shooting to call Caddo Crime Stoppers at 673-7373. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
More reaction to the deal for auctioneer to take over management of University Health and the local med school.
There's nothing in Shreveport right now, either in terms of hospitals or with our medical school, that's nationally ranked. Auctioneers is the #1 hospital in the entirety of the state of Louisiana. They're the #1 hospital in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. They are amongst the best hospitals in the entirety of the United States of America.
State Representative Cedric Glover. An agreement between the state and federal government reached on a plan to borrow $650 million for major roadway projects. DOTD Secretary Sean Wilson says the funding will go towards widening I-10 in Baton Rouge, a new interchange on I-10 in Kenner, and a new road from I-20 directly into Barksdale. Wilson says the State Bond Commission will have to pick an underwriter at its next meeting later this month.
We trust that the Bond Commission is going to do their due diligence as they have with us in the past for bond issuances and make sure the money's in the bank when we're ready to get started for work.
The state will have to pay back the loan, also known as Garvey bonds, over the next 12 years. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh set for a week of hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Republicans are focusing on Kavanaugh's 12-year career as an appellate court judge, while Democrats are expected to grill Kavanaugh on hot-button issues that could swing the court's majority. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
What? Nothing. Just what you said. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin, 735. What? Another political? No, this is more personal, though. When you start messing with a guy's wife, so to speak, now you're getting into kind of over the line, talking about Sheriff Steve Prater and Governor John Bel Edwards. What is this another rift between the two about?
Well, Carolyn Prater, Sheriff Steve Prater's wife, had been nominated by the Caddo Levy Board, the Red River Valley Association, and the Caddo Commission to serve on the Red River Waterway Commission. There was a vacant position with the death of Mickey Prestridge.
How many people on that? Is it?
I think it's 14.
I was going to say, is it 12 or 14?
I think it's 14.
There's 7 main people for each parish, and then there's at-large members.
Mm-hmm. And we had...
So which parishes are if there's 7 from each parish?
There's 7 from the north.
I'm sorry.
7 parishes from North Louisiana. So you got Caddo, Bossier, and I forget the other
Red
one.
River.
It goes Red River. It goes
Yeah.
to Rapides and Natchitoches, etc. Because the Red River flows through those parishes.
Okay.
And they have an interest in the Red River. But we had 3 representatives from Caddo Parish and one from Bossier Parish on the Red River Waterway Commission. With the recent death, we're left with 2. The governor moved one of those Caddo reps to the at-large position and then appointed someone from Pineville, I believe, or moved one of the at-large members to the Caddo spot and then appointed someone from Pineville to the at-large spot.
And this involves the sheriff's wife, how?
Because she was a nominee. She was nominated by the 3 bodies here that submit nominees for that panel, the Levee District, the Red River Valley Association, and the Caddo Commission. They all unanimously.
So how's the governor get involved with this?
Well, he turned her down. He said no.
But the governor has final say-so?
Yeah, he's got final call on that.
Really?
On the appointment.
So this is just another example of how the governor in Louisiana has an incredible amount of power.
A lot of reach.
Compared to other states.
His office says she did not get the paperwork in on time, but the sheriff sent me the documents, signed, sealed, and delivered with the dates that it was in on time, and he says it's clearly a dispute between he and the governor because he's been critical of the governor's criminal justice reform efforts. And the sheriff went on to send me a text that said State Senator Greg Tarver told him in a conversation that the governor was never going to appoint his wife because of the ongoing feud between them.
So according to Mr. Steve, Tarver told him, Sheriff Steve, that the governor had told him, Tarver, that he would never appoint the sheriff's wife.
Yep, that's how it went. Now, the governor's folks denied that conversation ever took place. They say it was just a matter of logistics, that the paperwork wasn't in on time, and the governor had somebody that he really thought was qualified and should be on the panel. Here's our problem. We fund the Red River Waterway Commission to the tune of 40%.
When you say we?
Caddo Parish.
Okay.
And now we have only 2 representatives of a 14-member body.
Well, the other thing the governor's lady told us was that historically speaking, we've only ever had 2 people on the board, so he was just restoring the balance across the parishes.
What's the percentage of 2 out of 14?
Less than 10%. So it's like
1 out of 7.
Yeah.
We should stop sending them all the money.
Yeah, right.
Stop sending them all the money. Stop sending, you're going to get 1/7 of the money will come from us.
I got news for you. I'm very much in favor of less money going to the state of Louisiana. But
the Red River Waterway Commission does a lot of things. If you recall, this is the group that funded the dog park in Shreveport. They fund things that happen along the river. If we want to do something cool along the riverfront, and Shreveport, Bossier, has one of the coolest areas along that river for development.
Based on their history, when the governor says one thing and Sheriff Steve says another, which side do you come down on?
Oh, come on. That's a no-brainer. I asked the sheriff, I said, so, is the governor lying? He said, he didn't hesitate, did he, Matt? He said, yep.
Nope.
Yep.
And he furnished the evidence via the documents.
He did. He sent me all the documents. I sent those to the governor's rep, who said, it all depends on when you say the vacancy was declared. I mean, it was a nitpicker's notebook thing, and I thought...
nitpicker's notebook?
Yeah, and I thought, oh, man.
On that incredibly literate statement. 739, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Traffic update. Ruben's ready.
Keeping an eye right now on some slow-moving traffic on Hearn Avenue near Millicent Way, and we're still keeping an eye on that heavy backed-up traffic on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness Traffic Hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line 318-392-1884. Your focus is focused. What are you focusing on?
Well, I'm still looking at this Gordon stuff. And
tropical storm at this point.
Yeah, tropical storm Gordon. Moving into the Gulf. The governor's, I think this is much ado about a little storm right now, but then part of my brain is like, better be safe than sorry. So I guess I can't be too critical, but if you want to see the governor's latest update, he did an update yesterday evening, and it's at keelnews.com. He's deploying 200 National Guardsmen. The storm is about 190 miles east-southeast of the Mississippi River. Right now, maximum sustained winds are 65 miles an hour. I don't see any projections that it's going to pick up a lot of steam. Maybe a little bit to become a Cat 1. A Cat 1 is just a regular storm we get up this way, with some high winds.
No, a hurricane is like, what's a minimum? What's a Cat 1 hurricane? 85, 100 miles an hour?
I think it's 75, but we get big storms like that up here. I've stood outside and played in a Cat 1. I mean, seriously.
A lot is being explained.
Is
that when you caught the mailbox in the head?
No. That was the tree branch.
75. No, when's the last time we had 75 mile an hour winds here?
You can stand outside in Cat 1.
75 mile. Yeah, well, maybe.
I could Jim Cantori this thing. No doubt.
I could Jim Cantori this thing.
Yeah, no doubt.
You had last hour we talked a little bit about this. And talking about both the John McCain and the Aretha Franklin funerals.
Yeah.
And what I said was, I'm just not sure Aretha had anything to do with the planning of her funeral.
Mm-hmm.
Other than, when was the last time you saw a corpse go through 3 costume changes? That was crazy.
Those heels. Oh, my God.
And
those red heels she had on. Oh, my God.
And a 14-karat gold coffin?
Whoo, yeah. They spent some moolah on that baby.
But given the fact that Louis Farrakhan was on stage in a seat of honor, that LeBron James was in the front row, and I could find no evidence that he and Aretha Franklin had ever met each other.
Mm-hmm.
That Louis, in the 4 spots, it was Louis Farrakhan, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, and Bill Clinton.
Mm-hmm.
Now, and the minister, the guy Ellis, what the hell is up with this guy? He got trying to go to second base in a church on Ariana Grande.
How did Bill Clinton do Aretha Franklin's and John McCain's? Weren't they like on the same day?
He's got like a plane.
Yeah.
But what did you think about that? Did you think that was like creepy? Because you could see
creepy.
You could see his arm working around, and she's trying to pull away, and he's pulling her back in.
That was kind of creepy.
And then he said, what did he say about her name? I thought it was something from the menu at Taco Bell.
Oh, what a nut. You know
what? Okay, wait a second. What a nut. Who is the minister at the funeral of what you would say is one of the most important entertainers, easily in your top 10 of the last half of the 20th century.
Well, her family members have said they were very offended by some of the things he did.
Back to this. Who picked the guy?
I'm not sure who picked him. I really don't know. But I do know they were not happy with some of the things he did.
The fact that this guy Ellis, who literally was a bad vaudeville comic, that all of the people, specifically Louis Farrakhan, the satanic, who is a bigot of the worst order, were all given these seats of honor. Does it seem to you, and the way it turned into nothing more than a political rally, and we'll get to the McCain thing in a second.
Yeah.
But the fact that it turned into a bash Trump fest, doesn't that lead you to believe that maybe people beyond the Franklin family sort of took control of this and made it the politically tinged spectacle that it was?
Yeah. The thing that people are not talking about much is that there was another, the Reverend Jasper Williams, who spoke at Aretha's funeral. The criticism against him today, I don't know if you heard what he said, but I'm almost quoting. He described children being in a home without a father as, quote, abortion after birth, and said black lives do not matter unless blacks stop killing each other. The family members of Aretha Franklin say they found his eulogy offensive and distasteful and were surprised at many of the things he said. Who invited him?
Speaking of offensive and distasteful, you said you were very disappointed in John McCain's daughter Megan's eulogy of her father.
I was intrigued and I was tearful at times.
Pardon me just a
watching
second.
that funeral.
I read an article, was it some point last week, where it had said that John McCain had been personally planning his funeral for the last 6 months.
He had. He'd called people, and he called Obama to speak. He called, George W. Bush to speak. His daughter got up.
John McCain, the guy holds a grudge.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he didn't have Sarah Palin there, and Sarah Palin, despite the fact he, post-election in 2008, had thrown her under the bus numerous times, she did nothing ever but stand up for him.
And if not for John McCain, her life would be peachy keen. She would be living, the life of
so did it
a
surprise
charmed life.
You that what?
But let me get to this quote.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I struggled with this. Meghan McCain was awesome until she said, during her eulogy, the America of John McCain has no need to be made great again because America was always great. And she stares at Ivanka Trump and her husband. And I thought, there was no need to go there. There was no need to do that. It offended me. Whether I love or hate President Trump.
Which one did you find the most offensive? And to me, they both were in many ways. Which one bothered you the most? The Aretha Franklin funeral or the John McCain funeral?
The John McCain funeral bothered me the most. For that line alone. For the attacks that were made. I was like, stop.
749, it's 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. High today is going to be in the low 90s, a chance of rain. It is 73. It is 8 before 8, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU players earned recognition from the SEC this week. Linebacker Jacob Phillips was named co-defensive player of the week for his pick-six, 7-tackle performance against Miami. Place kicker Cole Tracy, a grad transfer from Division II Assumption College, was named co-special teams player for his 4-field goal effort that included a school record-tying 54-yarder. Former Haynesville Golden Tornado star and current Louisiana Tech defensive back James Jackson earned Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. In the road win over South Alabama Saturday, Jackson had 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and half a sack. It's the first conference award for the Bulldog Jr. And LSU alum Alex Bregman homered in his 3rd straight game to help Houston to a 4-1 win over Minnesota. Yuli Gurriel also dialed long distance to back Dallas Keuchel. The former Razorback scattered 5 hits over 6 innings and gave up an unearned run to notch his 11th win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher. .107 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Shreveport Security Systems text line is 318-392-1884. Aretha didn't even have a will. No way did you did see that.
I did see that, yeah.
Aretha didn't even have a will. No way did she plan her funeral, especially a 6.5-hour one at that.
Man.
You
with
know
the
how
costume change.
Huh?
With the costume change.
That's crazy. Boy, that Undertaker earned his money. You think a 4-year-old is hard to get dressed? Holy crap! You've got a 200-and-something pound dead woman. I'm sorry, was that awful?
No, I think that just imagine you do all the makeup, you put her in the outfit.
What's the word I'm looking? I mean, how do you change clothes? This is going to be awful. I apologize in advance. You have she was not a small woman.
She lost weight. She was 108 at her death.
Really?
Yeah, she lost all that weight.
But either way,
it's
tiny. Not like she's incredibly mobile.
No, she's not mobile.
That's what I mean.
You can't. She's dead.
She's not helping out there. That's all Robert's saying.
Thank you.
Right.
It just seems to me that
there are people. That's what they do.
Well, yeah. Most everybody gets a little rigid.
Stop.
The point I'm making is this: that the Undertaker, whatever he got paid, it probably wasn't enough.
He got paid well. Trust me. He sold him a gold coffin. For crying out loud.
Yeah, you got a point there.
Jeez.
756, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. I'll put her in a prom dress if you want. 756, here's Sean Hannity.
Your morning cup of Sean. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
The biggest problem for the Democrats in 90 days is they don't have a vision. They don't have any plans except, we want, even though they're crumbs, we want them back. Remember they're saying, it's only mere crumbs for people. They're just crumbs, $1,000, $2,000 a family. Why do you want the crumbs back so bad? Why are you running on taking the crumbs back? Why are you running on eliminating ICE and open borders? That's not good for national security, and it's not good for job opportunities for Americans. Doesn't mean we can't have a big door in the wall that we build with Mexico. We can. I'd like an opportunity to vet anybody that comes into the country or that wants to come into the country. We want to make sure they're friends of this country.
The Conservative Underground meets later today on the Sean Hannity Show.
I'm Jay Farner, CEO of Quicken Loans. Buying a home should be one of life's best experiences, but today's fluctuating interest rates can leave you with unexpected higher payments. And that can turn a great experience into an anxious one. At Quicken Loans, we've created a new way to protect you from unpredictable interest rates. It's called the power buying process. We check your income, assets, and credit to provide you with a verified approval, which can give you the strength of a cash buyer. Once verified, you qualify for our exclusive Rate Shield approval. First, we lock your interest rate for up to 90 days while you find your new home. Then, once you've found your new home, if rates have gone up, your rate stays locked. But if rates have gone down, your rate drops, and you get to keep that new lower rate. Either way, you win. Call us today at 800-QUICKEN or go to rocketmortgage.com.
Rate Shield approval only valid on certain 30-year fixed-rate loans. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030. Additional conditions or exclusions may apply.
Leaders from the local community, the state, and the nation. We have them all.
This is Deputy Chief Bill Gooden with your Shreveport Police Department, and it is always my privilege to have an opportunity to talk to Robert and Erin in the morning. They do a tremendous job, and we appreciate their support.
We are KEEL. 1017 FM and 710 KEEL.
Still keeping an eye on that heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we have some traffic delays on Swan Lake Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Here's your KEELAccuWeather.com. KEELAccuWeather.com forecast. Kind of cloudy today. About a 20% chance of rain. High today, low 90s. Right now, 73 at KEEL.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 1017 FM and 710 KEEL. KEEL, Shreveport.
3 past 8 o'clock, Robert and Erin, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Erin Local News, getting it ready right now.
The governor declaring a state of emergency in advance of Gordon. We'll talk more about that. A local restaurant destroyed by fire, and an agreement between the state and the federal government could mean some road improvements.
Got to talk LSU Miami. I'm not sure which game. Erin and I were watching completely different games.
Erin and the world were watching a different game than you watched.
We will discuss. And we've got to talk about the mayoral race a little bit. Did anything happen last week when I was gone?
Oh, yes,
In the mayor's race?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that.
Oh, yeah.
Rule number 1, know your audience.
Yeah.
Fletcher in sports, traffic, and weather. It's all coming up this hour here on KEEL.
The power of information. KEEL News now.
Tropical storm Gordon continuing to strengthen and is expected to become a hurricane late today when it hits the central U.S. Gulf Coast. Governor John Bel Edwards has declared a state of emergency in advance of the storm. Edwards says 200 National Guard troops are being deployed today.
These guardsmen will be pre-positioned primarily in southeast Louisiana, along with 63 high-water vehicles, 39 boats, and 4 helicopters.
The governor says Gordon is a real threat to Louisiana, even though Alabama and Mississippi coastlines are under a hurricane warning. Now, Barry Keim, the state climatologist, says the cone of uncertainty still includes the north shore of Lake Pontchartrain.
Regardless of the exact landfall location, the storm is going to affect the extreme western part of the Florida Panhandle, as well as the coast of Alabama, Mississippi, and southeastern Louisiana.
The center of the storm expected to track over North Louisiana on tomorrow. A man is fighting for life after arriving at a local hospital with a gunshot wound to the side. Police believe the shooting happened around 8 o'clock last night on Woodrow Avenue. Police urge anyone with information on the shooting to call Crime Stoppers at 673-7373. A local restaurant ravaged by fire. Matt Parker with that.
The Long John Silver's on Kings Highway has been destroyed in a fire. The restaurant caught fire Monday. More than 30 firefighters battled the blaze, but officials say the building is a total loss. No one was inside the building when the fire started, and no injuries are being reported. An investigation into the blaze is ongoing. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
The Caddo Lake State Park getting a major facelift. According to reports, the park getting a new showering facility, entrance and trail signs, plus upgrades are being made to roadways and camping sites. The park will close later this month and remain closed until the end of the year for the improvements to be made. An agreement between the state and federal government has been reached on a plan to borrow $650 million for some major highway projects. DOTD Secretary Dr. Sean Wilson says this agreement with the Federal Highway Administration is the first of its kind in Louisiana.
It demonstrates to the citizens of Louisiana that the governor was serious about saying this was not our first option, but because we had no other option, we're using it, and the projects that we've talked about in the last 20 years are going to get funded with this.
The funding will go toward widening I-10 in Baton Rouge, a new interchange on I-10 in Kenner, and a new road from I-20 directly into Barksdale Air Force Base in Bossier. The CDC says there were nearly 2.3 million cases of STDs in America last year, an all-time record for the nation. Louisiana routinely ranks in the top 5 for highest STD rates. New Orleans and Baton Rouge often feature in yearly top 10s for cities with the highest rates. But the Department of Health's medical director, Dr. Joseph Kantner, says they aren't the only areas with real problems.
You look at HIV, for example, urban areas of New Orleans and Baton Rouge rise to the top in terms of incidence. But when you look at chlamydia and gonorrhea, certainly syphilis, it really is spread across the state.
Kantner says to really get to the heart of the problem, we need to change the way we talk about the disease. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh set for a week of hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee beginning today, Republicans focusing on his career as an appellate court judge, while Democrats are expected to grill him on hot-button issues that could swing the court's majority to the right. Many wondered if LSU had a 1,000-yard rusher on its roster. Well, Nick Brossette looked like that guy in the Tigers' big win over Miami. Brossette rushed for a career-high 125 yards and scored his first 2 touchdowns in college. The senior from Baton Rouge was behind Leonard Fournette and Darius Geis during his first 3 seasons at LSU and knew he would eventually get his shot.
No, I just knew I had to be patient. That's the biggest thing, just being patient, being humble. I showed a lot of people out there, and just like I put on social media, my brother passed away, and I just wanted to dedicate this season for him.
LSU entered the game ranked 25th. They'll likely move up the rankings when the new polls are released later today. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Ten past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL traffic update. Ruben's ready.
Keeping an eye right now on some heavy backed up traffic on I-20 westbound. Starting at Spring and Market, it's backed up past Airline Drive right now. And we're still looking at some traffic delays on Benton Road just north of I-220 in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline, 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
I'm still looking here. Give me a second. 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty, 12 after 7 o'clock. There was an article I saw, and we're not going to talk about this now. We'll talk about it later, maybe if I can find it. Because I've been sick since Sunday. For all my enemies, and you know who you are,
Oh, boy.
you can regale in the fact that I just have not In fact, when I had breakfast this morning, it was the first time I'd eaten since about noon Sunday.
Goodness.
I know. I was a wreck.
Wow.
I don't know what happened. The anticipation of coming back to Crazy Woman.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, I'm talking about Matt. No, I saw an article, and I want to talk about it because it was kind of awesome. And I can't find it where I thought I could. And basically, the gist of the article, you tell me what you think. We'll talk about it later, I promise. The gist of the article was, if a man truly loves a woman, he will stop at nothing to win her.
Absolutely.
You believe that?
Absolutely.
What if she tells him, go away? What if she says, you are not for me? What if she breaks up with him and said, look, it was a nice 6-month run, but I'm sorry, buddy, I'm moving on? What does he do then? At what point does it cross the line from, I love you and will dedicate my life to you, to you just become a Me Too guy?
Once you're told to stop, you
okay,
need to
but
stop.
The article said, and it was written by a woman, if a man truly loves a woman, he will stop at nothing to win her. Does that include a burlap bag and duct tape?
He needs to stop at a restraining order. I mean, you got to back off.
That's not what the article said. It said
you can't. At some
we'll
point,
talk
you
about
gotta
it more
stop.
later. We'll talk about it more later. So that'll be the 40 segment. Okay. You had Cedric Glover in, former mayor, state representative Cedric Glover here last week.
Mm-hmm.
And among the things, was this on the air or off, where you sort of touched on the mayor's race?
This we didn't talk with him about this. This was me and Dan talking about this.
Oh, my bad.
Because I got to thinking, and Matt answered this too. I got to thinking of all the candidates in the race. We have a relationship with each of them for the most part. We know them each. Mutual respect with each for the most part.
There are some of whom I am very fond.
Right. And I got to thinking, what is it going to be for me behind the curtain that will make me choose A, B, or C, or D?
Well, what is it you want to hear? What is it you want to hear between now and then?
What are the things that are going to make me vote for you? I'm not the kind of person that's going to vote for you just because you're a Republican or Democrat. I don't vote like that. I never have, never will. I vote for things that matter to me. And I got to thinking, what are those things in this race? And I wanted to ask you, are you going to vote in the mayor's race just for an R beside the name?
Let me approach this from a really depressing point of view.
Okay.
I'm not sure my vote matters. I'm not sure your vote matters. And it's not based on race.
What's it based on then?
It's something I brought up a week or two ago, and it has to do with one of the things I've continually brought up about the mayor's race is specific to party, because you have 3 Dems, you have 2 Republicans. One of the things I've brought up about
more than 3 Dems.
You have 3 Democrats that matter. You have 2 Republicans that matter. Let's be blunt.
Right.
Okay, so there's 5 candidates that kind of matter.
Okay.
And I touched on a couple of weeks ago, and I'm not sure you 100% agreed. I said, do national issues, do state issues, how much do they matter in the Shreveport mayor's race? And I basically brought up, and this is kind of how I look at it, is that on the Democrat side, you have Mayor Tyler, and you have Adrian Perkins, and you have Stephen Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And you said, does party matter? Well, let me tell you, right now, the Democrat Party as a national entity is for open borders. They're for unlimited, illegal, there shouldn't even be, according to the Democrats, there shouldn't even be illegal immigration.
Right.
And yet, each of those candidates on the Democrat side, well, the Republican too, but let's focus on those 3. Those 3 will come in here and say jobs are the most important thing. Law and order and jobs. Well, let's talk jobs for a second. If you have open borders, there is not a demographic in America that illegal immigration hurts more than African Americans. And yet, each of those three candidates will come in here and sit down and say, I'm for jobs, I'm for the economy, I'm for this or that. And yet I know in my heart of hearts, and maybe I'm wrong, that when it comes election time, those three candidates will go into the voting booth and vote for national candidates who espouse the total opposite of what they sit in this room and tell me they're for. So, we've covered the national thing. Let's look at the Louisiana thing. There is nationwide an economic boom.
Of course.
America is kicking ass economically right now. Okay, GDP, not 4.1 anymore, it's 4.2. America across the country is doing great.
Right.
Except.
What's wrong here?
Texas has cut taxes. Arkansas has cut taxes. Alabama's cut taxes. Mississippi's cut taxes. Who's not cutting taxes?
We haven't cut taxes.
When we talked to Stephen Wagasback about a week and a half ago, and we talked about sort of this very same, there's this boom going on. Why is Louisiana missing out? And we talked about tax increases in our neighboring states and neighboring states deregulating, making it rather easier for businesses. Less onerous on new businesses, less onerous and less regulatory and less taxation on businesses that want to move to their states. And yet we in Louisiana, at a state level, seem to do just the opposite. Stephen Wagasback said, and he comes up with stuff, he hits you between the eyes with stuff. And what he told us was that Louisiana as a state, trying to lure business to Louisiana, we cannot pass. You'll remember when I tell you this. He said Louisiana can't pass the ABCs of employment.
Yeah.
I said, what the hell is that? He said, reading, writing, and pass a drug test. So, if we in Louisiana, if we in Shreveport are the, I don't want to say victims of state policies, if we in Louisiana are victims of what were trade policies in the 90s that ravaged the Shreveport economy, and yet I say, and I know at the same time that the three Democrat mayoral candidates are going to vote on a national level to roll back the Trump tax cuts. They're going to vote for people who will roll back the Trump tax cuts, who are for open borders, who are for bigger government, more spending, and more regulation. Does your vote really matter? I.e., can any of those candidates, Republican or Democrat or Republican, are the odds so stacked against Shreveport? How does a candidate overcome state policies that hurt the state, i.e. Shreveport? How does a mayoral candidate overcome policies formerly that nationally that ravaged our economy 20 or 25 years ago? So you tell me what the mayor is going to do.
They don't have much control over much of that.
Then what can they do? Then how does your vote matter?
I need to know how I'm going to vote, though. What is going to make me vote for one or the other?
My question to you is, does it matter? Does it matter?
Oh, my vote. I'll absolutely fight you to the death to say my vote doesn't matter. My vote absolutely
You're missing
matters.
My point. What you said, what should I look for before I cast my vote? You find one of the five who can sit in here and explain to me how they are going to overcome the Edwards administration growing regulations, how they are going to overcome the effects of Shreveport and NAFTA and the WTO and all the rules that were in place that cost us 20,000 manufacturing jobs. The economy across the country is booming. You know where it's not booming? Right here in Louisiana. ABCs of employment.
Right.
Read, write, and pass a drug test.
Yeah.
You explain to me how you're going to overcome those that are beyond our control. So when I say to you, does your vote really matter? The candidate who will get my vote is the one who sits there and says, here's how we're going to do it. Because it's a tough row to hoe.
Oh, it is.
22 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Ruben's here.
Still keeping an eye on some backed up traffic on I-20 westbound near Spring and Market. And we have some traffic delays on Old Minden Road near Airline Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Twenty-four past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 KEEL Sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU players earned recognition from the SEC this week. Linebacker Jacob Phillips was named co-defensive player of the week for his pick-six, 7-tackle performance against Miami. Place kicker Cole Tracy, a grad transfer from Division II Assumption College, was named co-special teams player for his 4 field goal effort that included a school record-tying 54-yarder. Former Haynesville Golden Tornado star and current Louisiana Tech defensive back James Jackson earned Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. In the road win over South Alabama Saturday, Jackson had 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and half a sack. It's the first conference award for the Bulldog Jr. And LSU alum Alex Bregman homered in his 3rd straight game to help Houston to a 4-1 win over Minnesota. Yuli Gurriel also dialed long distance to back Dallas Keuchel. The former Razorback scattered 5 hits over 6 innings and gave up an unearned run to notch his 11th win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
.101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, 26 past 8 o'clock. Sunday night, Erin and I watched 2 different football games. The point
Sunday
is,
night, the world and you watched 2 different football games.
Look, all of a sudden, you, with a history of delusion when it comes to LSU football, you have said it in each of the last 2 hours. I'm thinking LSU, they're a contender for the SEC West. Nick Saban's losing sleep. He watched that game, and he's thinking, we got a game when we play LSU in November.
Yeah.
Did you watch Tua Tagovailoa?
I did. I watched him.
Why don't you just give him the Heisman now, for God's sake?
He was incredible. He really was. But I was impressed with Joe Burrow. I'm going to tell you, he managed that game well.
What was it about Joe?
He did really well.
He was 11 for 24. The thing that surprised me about the LSU game, not surprised me, the thing that impressed me about LSU on Sunday night was their opportunistic nature, i.e. the defense, as expected, was very good. But on top of that, they They won big. They won easily against a good team and didn't seem to me to play all that well. What on the offensive side of the ball, except for the kid Nick Brosette, was the least bit impressive?
The management of the game by Joe. He did a good job of his signal calling, his changing of plays. Several of his passes hit the receivers right almost on their noggin,
but and
they dropped them.
Okay, the same receivers you're going to have in a couple of weeks when you play Auburn, the same receivers down the line when you play Georgia, the same receivers and quarterback against Alabama. The point is this: what did you see Sunday night that would lead you to believe for an instant that when some defense, like they've done for what LSU opponents do every single year, eventually they stack about 6 or 7 or 8 guys up front. They take away the running game and they say, LSU, if you're going to beat us, we're going to make you throw the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And historically, LSU is incapable of throwing the ball down the field.
I think this guy is capable.
What did you see?
I saw dominance.
What did you see
dominance
Sunday?
On the O-line. I don't think Burrow was even knocked down once.
What did you see Sunday that would for an instant lead you to believe that when an opponent, a strong opponent, takes away the running game, that Joe Burrow is capable of throwing 30 to 35 times for 400 yards and throwing the Tigers to victory?
I think he's got it in him. I just don't... You're discounting Miami. They're the number 8 team in the country. It's not like we were playing a cupcake. They were a good team, a great defense.
Miami was basically LSU, i.e., they played, here is Dave Aranda's brilliance. They played Miami to stop the running game, and basically we're saying, okay, Rozier or whatever the Miami quarterback's kid's name is. They say, you're going to beat us throwing. And you know what he couldn't do?
Couldn't throw it.
Beat them throwing.
No, but I think LSU can. I think Burrow's got the wherewithal, the confidence to do it. We just need a few more catches.
What Mark Richt, the Miami coach, showed me on Sunday night was why he got fired at Georgia.
I apologize to the Tigers because my list, I said LSU would lose to Miami, Auburn, Florida, Alabama, Georgia, Texas A&M. Scratch Miami off my list, baby.
I tell you what, I want you to do a reassessment.
I am.
Tomorrow morning.
Yeah.
I want you to put on the website at KEELnews.com. I want you to put a new blog, a new post.
Okay.
I, Erin A. McCarty.
I'm sorry, LSU.
Am reassessing the
Yep.
LSU season. Watch out, Alabama.
Oh, yeah.
We're coming for you.
Coming to get you, Satan.
29 past 8 o'clock, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Linwood Avenue and West 70th Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Westgate Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer. Your AccuWeather.com forecast.
Of information. KEEL News now.
With Tropical Storm Gordon headed towards the Gulf Coast, Governor John Bel Edwards has declared a state of emergency in advance of the storm 200 National Guard troops are being deployed. The governor says flooding is a big concern.
Much of southeast Louisiana can expect to see heavy rain of 4 to 6 inches, possibly 7 inches of rain in some areas, along with storm surge of 3 to 5 feet.
The city of New Orleans could take a direct hit from the storm, expected to be a hurricane when it moves onshore this week. Mayor LaToya Cantrell says the city has the pumps and the power to protect, but they're not taking any chances.
Safety is our absolute first priority. That's why we're taking every step and all steps necessary to ensure that we are prepared.
A hurricane warning has now been issued for parts of the central Gulf Coast, including the Alabama, Mississippi, and eastern Louisiana coastlines. The Long John Silver's restaurant on Kings Highway destroyed in a fire. The restaurant caught fire Monday. More than 30 firefighters battled the blaze, but officials say the building is a total loss. A man fighting for his life after apparently being shot. Matt Parker has that.
A Shreveport man is clinging to life after arriving at a Shreveport hospital with a gunshot wound to the side. Police believe that the shooting happened around 8 p.m. Monday night in the 3500 block of Woodrow Avenue. Police urge anyone with information on the shooting to call Caddo Crime Stoppers at 673-7373. From 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, I'm Matt Parker.
More reaction to the deal for Auctioner to take over management of University Health and the local med school.
There's nothing in Shreveport right now, either in terms of hospitals or with our medical school, that's nationally ranked. Auctioners is the #1 hospital in the entirety of the state of Louisiana. They're the #1 hospital in Louisiana, Arkansas, and Mississippi. They are amongst the best hospitals in the entirety of the United States of America.
State Representative Cedric Glover. An agreement between the state and federal government reached on a plan to borrow $650 million for major roadway projects. DOTD Secretary Sean Wilson says the funding will go towards widening I-10 in Baton Rouge, a new interchange on I-10 in Kenner, and a new road from I-20 directly into Barksdale. Wilson says the State Bond Commission will have to pick an underwriter at its next meeting later this month.
We trust that the Bond Commission is going to do their due diligence as they have with us in the past for bond issuances and make sure the money's in the bank when we're ready to get started for work.
The state will have to pay back the loan, also known as Garvey bonds, over the next 12 years. Supreme Court nominee Brett Kavanaugh set for a week of hearings before the Senate Judiciary Committee. Republicans are focusing on Kavanaugh's 12-year career as an appellate court judge, while Democrats are expected to grill Kavanaugh on hot-button issues that could swing the court's majority. I'm Erin McCarty on 101.7 FM and 710 KEEL.
Okay, so Tropical Storm Gordon McKernan.
It's not Gordon McKernan.
What?
It's not. Unless he pays us and sponsors it, it's not brought to you by Gordon McKernan.
101.7 FM and 710 KEEL, Robert and Erin. I told you a while ago I was so far off, to use the cliche, off the grid last week on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Until I heard you say, tropical storm headed our way. Until I heard you mention that in the 6 o'clock top of the hour news 2.5 or so hours ago. I had no idea that we were in the projected path of a tropical storm.
Well, you know, we're way away from the coast, but South Louisiana is possibly in the path. Could become a hurricane by late today or early in tomorrow. They have issued a voluntary evacuation order for parts of Louisiana outside the levee protection system. The governor's declared a state of emergency. 200 National Guard troops have been deployed to southeast Louisiana.
To bring up a sore subject, I'm not sure I'd feel too safe in New Orleans inside the levee-protected system, but that's just me. So, Storm Gordon is moving how fast? What did I see? 15 miles an hour now.
Something like that, and it's got winds clocked right now at 65 miles an hour. Not a hurricane until they get up to 75. And that's only a Cat 1. And I mean,
you say
you
only
can play
Cat,
hopscotch in Cat 1.
You say only a Cat 1. 75.
Come on.
I would be willing to bet. And it's sustained winds of 75 miles an hour.
I've played in that.
We have not had, I bet you, I'm not going to say the last couple of years, that we've even had a gust more than 50 or 55 miles an hour up here.
We get gusts upwards of 50.
75. No, we don't.
We
75 miles an hour. There's a reason it's called a hurricane.
Well, it's a baby cane.
Hold on. All right, so I just pulled up what a Category 1 hurricane can do.
These are scary.
It produces dangerous winds that can cause damage. It will not cause structural damage to most well-constructed permanent structures. However, they can topple mobile homes, uproot and snap trees.
Well, none of those here.
Cause coastal flooding and pier damage. Also typical is power outages lasting several days during Category 1s.
Please don't. I don't want to minimize it. Don't go out and play in a Cat 1.
Wait a second.
It's no big deal.
But I've done it. I don't condone it, but I understand it.
So because you're dumb, you're trying to downplay the dangers of a Category 1 storm.
Do you want me to tell you a dumb thing I really did during a Cat 1?
Please do.
Yes.
We had a basketball goal at my house. It was a solid pole. We had concreted in.
Did they tie you to the pole?
No, it's worse than that.
Because I'm going Ulysses Sirens of Titan here.
My brothers, and I was like a monkey child.
Strap Erin to the mast.
I could climb anything when I was a little kid. I could climb up fences. I could climb anything. My brothers talked me into shimmying up that pole, and it had like a bracket, that on the back to put the goal up. Had like bars. And you could sit up on the bar and just kind of hang in, and you'd be way up high. My brothers talked me into shimmying my way up there, sitting on that goal for 15 minutes.
You told me once.
And I did it.
Not so long ago.
It was scary.
Because I know how you love to go down to Orange Beach. You love the Gulf Coast.
Love it.
And get you one of the condos on about the 20th floor with
love
the balcony.
It.
She told me once, do you know this?
I don't.
She said, I would love to rent a condominium about 20 or 25 floors up during a really horrible hurricane and just go out on the balcony and sit out on the balcony.
Oh, with some wine or some Baileys. I am down with that.
Okay. It's blowing 100 miles an hour.
I'd be all right.
You couldn't hold on to your drink in a Yeti in 100-mile-an-hour wind. 839, 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Projected rain for us begins from Gordon tomorrow evening. 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Ruben's ready.
The intersection at Linwood Avenue and West 70th Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Westgate Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Clouds and sun, high 92 today, then partly cloudy, low 73 tonight. More clouds than sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
1017 FM and 710 Keel, Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Okay, here's the title of the article. I found it.
Wait, I got a text from someone.
Uh-oh.
We just got an email with regard to jobs, real quick. How is Bossier doing it? They have tech, jobs growth, and they're still in Louisiana. Monroe, Lake Charles, New Orleans, Baton Rouge, all doing good. Interesting point. Sorry, I diverted you.
So, what I said before. And when you said, what do I need to hear in the mayoral race to vote for somebody?
Yeah.
The candidate that can come in here and convince you they can overcome the odds.
Mm-hmm.
And do
what
things.
Are they going to do to overcome those odds?
Yeah.
And train people for jobs so that we do have the ABCs. Get people ready to be employed.
So now you're talking about sociological. What
government does that all the time.
What mayoral candidate is going to... Never mind, I've got something else to talk about.
Yeah,
That's a segment for tomorrow. A man who truly loves you won't stop pursuing you. It's that simple. This was the article I was talking about earlier this hour.
Yeah.
A man who truly loves you won't stop pursuing you. It's that simple.
It's sweet. That's sweet.
Well, unless... So you tell me, when does it become stalking? Wait, I truly love you. Do I get a pass?
No. Once I've told you,
if a man
not
is
interested.
If a man is, that's not what it says. If a man is interested, no distance will stand in the way. Nothing will stand. He will let nothing stand between his feelings for you and winning you over.
Well, how about a restraining order? That's going to stand in the way. How about a gun I'm going to pull on him? That'll stand in the way. Then, at some point you got to, what is your line is, you can't talk yourself out of dumped. Once you get dumped, you're dumped. Move on.
A real man will pursue you and look, this is an article that I found online.
That's not a real man.
What I'm asking you is, are there women that think that way? And what captured me, what really caught my attention about this is not so much that it's sort of, although to some degree it kind of does, tells a guy, no doesn't really mean no.
No means no.
And if you really love her, no extreme is too great. It's kind of what it says. Headline, a man who truly loves you will never stop pursuing you. But what it says more than anything else, and I want you to comment on this, what it says more than anything else to me as a man is, hey, little lady, you don't know your own mind.
Right. You're a dumb bunny. You'll fall in love with me eventually. You'll come around. I want you to be mine, so you got to be mine. That's a bunch of bunko. That really is a bunch of bunko. And if a woman says, you're not for me, this isn't going to work, the man needs to move on. Move on down the road. Take your cupcakes or whatever and go give them to somebody else.
What if he truly loves you? I'm just reading the title. A man who truly loves you. What if he refuses to say no? What if he knows what's best for you? What if he really, really, really loves you?
Sorry. It's not mutual. A relationship has to be mutual, you idiot. If it's not mutual, it's not going to work.
I'm not the idiot
You're arguing his point.
No, the idiot, first of all, a man didn't write this article. A woman wrote this article.
Yes, I know, but it's just stupid. A relationship is a two-way street. Both people have to want it. If one doesn't want it, the other one can't keep sending flowers and gifts and acting crazy and thinking she's going to turn around.
If they both wanted it, he wouldn't have to pursue you.
No. There is a little bit of pursuit in the early stages of a relationship, but after that, come on, give it a rest.
We all know in this room women who, how can I put this mildly, have a tendency to lead the man on because they like the chase. So it's a slippery slope that goes both ways.
Oh, come on. You sound like a male chauvinist pig.
No.
Toxic masculinity, Matt Parker.
Yes, come on.
We both know women that do that.
That's not a real woman. Yeah, the chase is fun for a little while, but a real woman is going to tell you what she wants and doesn't want. And if you're the guy she doesn't want, pick up your tools and go somewhere else. Go fix somebody else's barn or whatever you're going to do. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous to even be talking about this in 2018. Oh, but he can talk you into loving him.
And yet this millennial woman who wrote this article.
She's an idiot. Sorry. And please don't text me or call me going, but eventually you might fall in love with him. No. And if I'm interested in him one day down the road, I've changed my mind, maybe I hit him back up. But at this point in time, peace out. You got to go, dude.
848, 1017 FM, 710 Keel. Let's go to, he's loading the traffic sounder as we speak.
I almost cursed. Sorry.
Who couldn't love that? Winning you over. Traffic update. Here's Ruben.
The intersection at Linwood Avenue and West 70th Street's dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Westgate Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds and sun with a high of 92, then patchy clouds, low 73 tonight. Clouds limiting sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Rush Limbaugh, the authority for all things right. Weekdays from 11 to 2 on 1017 FM and 710 Keel.
Eight before 9 o'clock. It's 1017 FM and 710 Keel. Here's sports.
Good morning from the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger. This is Tim Fletcher. LSU players earned recognition from the SEC this week. Linebacker Jacob Phillips was named co-defensive player of the week for his pick-six, 7-tackle performance against Miami. Place kicker Cole Tracy, a grad transfer from Division II Assumption College, was named co-special teams player for his 4 field goal effort that included a school record-tying 54-yarder. Former Haynesville Golden Tornado star and current Louisiana Tech defensive back James Jackson earned Conference USA's Defensive Player of the Week. In the road win over South Alabama Saturday, Jackson had 6 tackles, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, and half a sack. It's the first conference award for the Bulldog Jr. And LSU alum Alex Bregman homered in his 3rd straight game to help Houston to a 4-1 win over Minnesota. Yuli Gurriel also dialed long distance to back Dallas Keuchel. The former Razorback scattered 5 hits over 6 innings and gave up an unearned run to notch his 11th win. From the sports desk of 1130 The Tiger, this is Tim Fletcher.
Mark Rohde with the men of
101.7 FM and 710 Keel. Robert J. Wright and Erin McCarty. Just going to have to agree to disagree on the LSU thing. They play. I just don't know what game you were watching. Oh,
I don't get
this
you.
guy Joe Burrow. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's a game manager. He's the greatest. You said the greatest LSU quarterback. The potential to be the greatest LSU quarterback since Burt Jones. You said that.
Mm-hmm. He managed that game well. I don't know what you were watching, but there were. I mean, I know his stats don't show it, but he had several passes that were right on the money. Those guys have got to catch them. He changed the calls from the line of scrimmage. He made great adjustments. He was well prepared. Well prepared.
Is he the quarterback, and this is the point we've brought up time and again this morning, is he the quarterback that when the next ranked opponent, be it Auburn or Georgia or whoever it happens to be, Alabama down the line a couple of months, is he the quarterback that when the ranked opponent puts 7 or 8 men on the line and says, we are going to take away your running game, we are going to make you pass,
dare you to throw it,
beat us?
Mm-hmm. I think he's got it.
Is he going to be the quarterback that can throw 30 times a game, get you 350 yards and 3 touchdowns?
I think he's got it. I need to see some receivers, though. I need to see some catches. I need to see better hands on the ball.
So your concern right now is not the quarterback, but it's the receiving core.
Oh, absolutely. If you watch that game, that's what you're worried about
So
today.
the number one receiving core.
We found out who our running back's going to be. We don't know who our receiver's going to be. We're not sure.
Got 2 weeks till Auburn.
Yep.
101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Robert and Erin back tomorrow morning. Here's Kim Commando.
As this chaotic summer ends, President Trump and conservatives rage on about Google and Facebook's bias. Both companies are responsible for distributing most of what passes as news these days. Liberal or conservative, make no mistake, both companies have a serious vulnerability, just not in the way that you think. Kim Commando with your Tuesday Consumer Tech Update. I don't believe that Facebook and Google hire squads of censors, but I do believe that large organizations, especially secretive ones like Facebook and Google, use gangly and complex software that can easily pick up unintended bias. Look, it's the algorithms that run everything, and it's the algorithms that are the company's big secret. But those algorithms are written by human beings with their own preferences and opinions, average, flawed human beings. Vulnerabilities, unintended bias, hiding in the machine. A machine that's not transparent, and as long as it's not transparent, the madness will continue. I'm Kim Commando. Here's some exciting news. As a company, SimpliSafe is now valued at $1 billion. Not only that, more than 2 million homes are now protected with an incredible SimpliSafe system. SimpliSafe is comprehensive protection for your home with round-the-clock professional monitoring that will bring the police anytime there's even the slightest hint of a problem. And SimpliSafe is built for the unexpected. It's loaded with safeguards that keep your system working even during the power and Wi-Fi outages. Even if a burglar smashes your keypad, the police will still be on their way. And the system is so easy to use. It's incredibly intuitive. It takes only minutes to set up in your home. Order your SimpliSafe system now. As a listener of the Kim Commando Show, you get free shipping and free returns. Visit simplysafekim.com. simplysafekim.com to protect your home with SimpliSafe today. That's simplysafekim.com.
The intersection at Linwood Avenue and West 70th Street is dealing with some slow-moving traffic right now. And we have some traffic delays on Barksdale Boulevard near Westgate Drive in Bossier City. If you have anything to report to us, give us a call at our Planet Fitness traffic hotline. That's 687-ROAD.
Your AccuWeather.com forecast. Today, clouds and sun with a high of 92, then patchy clouds, low 73 tonight. Clouds limiting sun, high 93 tomorrow. Rain from Gordon Thursday. With your AccuWeather.com forecast, I'm Heather Zayer.
Breaking news and trending talk. This is 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. KEEL, Shreveport.